Hello, I'm Jane Brasher, and this is Rappler Talk. The Philippine Basketball Association is changing its approach in the way it is running the league. And with that change comes a new leader for basketball affairs. Today we are with newly appointed PBA Commissioner, Chito Narvasa. Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us. My first question is, the PBA has a new organizational chart basically. There is a president and there's a /CEO and a COO, and then there's a commissioner. Could you please detail at least your responsibilities as far as the commissioner in this new season, upcoming season?
I understand from the discussions that we've had, that all game-related activities are under the office of the commissioner. And I think the administrative side will fall under Attorney Salud's office. And we're going to have a planning session this month, and probably it will be clearer to me by then.
This includes the D-League, right? PBA D-League.
Yes, yes.
Planning session will take place in
Tokyo from August 9 to the 13th.
I think everybody would like to know what are your plans or what are your ideas for the next season, your agenda?
Well, I don't have plans yet, because I want to take my cue from the board, and probably it'll be clearer again to be after that meeting. But definitely, one, it's been mentioned already, and I think this is the concern of everybody, including the fans, officiating, how we can improve that. So I have several programs in mind that I want to propose to the board, and I have to get also the support of the coaches and the players. I think there is a communication gap between the players, probably among the players, the coaches, and the officials. I've been, during the last conference, I studied the rule books of the PBA. There really hasn't been any change from the last time that I coached. But yet the interpretation and the appreciation of the calls are very different. I've seen a big difference in the way calls are made. So that's one thing that I think I should point out to them also. And then from there I will take my cue from them also, how they want it to be done. Because I think all the teams they just want one thing. They just want to understand what calls are being made. And it should be done on a consistent basis. And that's why I say there is a miscommunication. Because there are some good calls, really. But the problem really, and I notice right now, is all the calls are being contested from the first quarter up to the fourth quarter. The first quarter, the first 3 minutes, they don't count. Even up the second quarter, and then you look at the difference in the leads, 3 points, 5 points, and yet every call is contested. Kawawa rin the referees. They don't call it, they're contested. They call, they're contested. What are the referees going to do? So there must be something that has to be done.
So that's at least one thing
I think there are many things that I want to do. So, because I want to show also the PBA that the referees there are also some referees who are good. And we should appreciate them. And we should give them also some kind of respect. And I know it's earned. But at the end of the day, even just the MMD officials, you just cannot go there and just run them over. They're officials. They're called officials for something. You must respect them. And if you don't, you're breaking the law. So I consider that also in the same way as in the PBA. If they don't respect the officials, they don't respect me.
Yeah. What about making the fans more aware, I guess, of the rules of how officiating is done, because fans are also very keen
I know. That also is a problem, because the fans will always just support one team. So every call that you call against their team, it will always be bad. So they also have to learn first how the calls are going to be made. And I think I have a way of doing that. But it has to start also from the referees. So first order, I'll talk to the referees, and I have to change their mindset also. It's going to be very minor changes. I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to be very difficult for everybody. minor changes that will help, that will, I think, enhance the communication gap. And that's, I think, the main problem I can see.
Last season, there was Sir Terry, was that, if I remember correctly, who explains the calls during the broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think that that's something that you'll continue?
No, I will not. I will not. I expect everybody, really, I expect everybody to be able to understand the rules talaga and study them. Because I'm going to have a continuing dialogue with the coaches and the players throughout the whole conference, throughout the whole year. It will not stop just because of that. So if they have any concerns, they can always come to the commissioner. But they cannot confront the commissioner or the referees during the game. In other words, you know, like me, I have to concentrate on so many things there. And they will ask me for one single call. And they will confront me for one single call that the referee has already made. I cannot change that, even if I feel that the referee made the mistake. Right? There is nothing you can do. The call of the referee is final. And if they confront me, they will not, and they should not do that.
Well, there's been a surge of viewership naman po, and gate attendance for the PBA these past few years, especially with the rise of Gilas. What are your plans as far as sustaining that and improving it as well?
I don't know how we can do that. No, I will seek the advice of Chito Salud. Yeah, because at this point in time, I think there are, despite all the other challenges, all the other basketball leagues that, you know, like the NBA also being shown on TV and the FIBA also, you know, there's really a very high interest in the PBA. So I think if we're able to improve the game, especially, you know, people will be curious about how the officiating is going to go, and if we're able to achieve that, more people are going to come and support. So that's one thing, you know? And then I will need your help also, the news media also, social media, in trying to explain to them how the calls are going to be made already. So they'll be able to understand and appreciate it more. Diba? And they have to understand also the situation that the commissioner is in and the referees are in. Diba? And I think once it's appreciated like that, because everybody understands how the coaches do things, diba? The players, how they play, but they don't know how the preparation and how the referees think. I want to be able to make that also public, so that we'll appreciate them a little bit more. Okay. Diba? Lang una lagi nakatago referees eh, diba? Nobody can question them. We can explain. I'm always ready to explain whatever actions they made.
You're talking about being more open and more communicative as far as the coaches, the referees, the fans are concerned. Would you say that that's the kind of commissioner that you
Yes,
would be?
because like I said, you know, I will always welcome them talking to me before a game, but not during the game. During the game, let's just concentrate on doing what we should be doing. Diba? And I'm open to all criticisms. Anything that can improve the league, we should be open to that. And the fans especially, I'm sure they have great ideas. Diba? And that's why I think, you know, with the advent of technology, I think we should be able to get that. One of the things that I want to look into and I want to question also is that the PBA doesn't have its own website. I think it goes through something else. Yeah, so that then, even during the last conference, I've been checking also from here. No? It's late. I don't get to get and the news I get from other sources rather than from the PBA itself. I think baliktad yata, the PBA should be able to provide its own news, and anything that comes out from the PBA should come and emanate from the PBA itself, and all others should be second-hand information. Like you, I'm sorry. You see, but see, it should come from the PBA itself. And now, ang lumalabas, huli pa PBA. It shouldn't be that way. So I think, you know, we have such a big fan base already. I think we owe this to them.
Should be the other way.
Yes, I think the PBA already should start thinking about that. You know, we have PLDT Talk and Text Smart. They can help us. I'm pretty sure they know how to run these things.
Would you say the NBA is a peg, the way they're running it, the way they're doing things? Is that a peg?
I'm not familiar with the NBA, but you can see that anything that, you know, anything that the NBA wants to come out, it comes out from them. It doesn't come out from any news agency elsewhere, no? It always emanates from them. Sila dapat ang source. And I think that the PBA should also start doing that.
Will you be more ambitious, or will you take it one step at a time?
I will take my cue from the board. My job as of today is to implement its policies, no? and the direction. I'll take my cue from there. Of course, there is nothing that will prevent me from making suggestions. Those suggestions are going to be, I'm sure, analyzed and discussed in the board level. If they feel they're worthy, then of course they'll take it. No? If not, then we just drop it.
What challenges do you see for the PBA as far as right now?
Probably there's a new league that's coming out, also professional, no. But aside from that, really, it's internal actually. Does the PBA, does it want to grow or get more teams, or does it want to develop first its own? So I think that's something that's on top of my head. No, what does the board want?
You've been a coach before in the PBA. In what ways does that make your job easier or more difficult?
To me, I think it will make probably my job a lot clearer, you know, because I've been on I played basketball. I know what players do, diba? Kung sadya o hindi. Ganon, no? I know also how coaches react, no? Whether they just want to, it's just an emotional outburst or a tactic, you know, or it's really something intentional. You know? So I know the strategies. I know also, let's say, because sometimes they'll always say, it's the referee's fault, he did not call this way. I can now tell them, no, because you did not put this guy in or you did not do this, it is your strategy, it failed. You see, so now I can appreciate that because all the little things I know.
Yeah.
I've gone against them, I've reviewed it, and now I'll be, you know, before we used to, because during my time, I only had one assistant coach. So I had to do the reviewing, I had to do the video myself. I had to do that. I don't have, they did not have a video coordinator. So I had to do that. I had to study every team. And any weaknesses in the place that they had, I had to show it the next day to the players and then also us, what we did successfully against before. So I had to cull all these things and present it to them. So I acted as a video coordinator, defensive coach, offensive coach, you know, and everything. Now they have 6 or 7 people doing this. The coach will just go there and tell you, what would you do, and then they make a decision.
You talked about wanting for the PBA to have its own website, you know, jumping at the opportunity for new media in the digital age. What steps are you planning on taking as far as transparency for the league?
I don't know what their policy is there. What can be made public really are the decisions made by the league, no? See, and those decisions or any controversies, I think that one we can open up. Any decision, because the PBA has to live by its decisions. Let's say if there is like the trade you were mentioning, also the trading. Why was this allowed? Why was this not allowed? So we can make that public, diba? Why was somebody suspended? Why was somebody punished this way? Why was this guy not punished when this guy was punished? So we can make that transparent. And we're all open to that because we also have to be able to live by the decisions that we make. Yeah. And we will be gauged by them.
What about Asian imports? What are your thoughts about that?
I think it was good. I mean, you know, if it opens up doors really for, you know, the imports, they're just for one conference, diba? For the PBA, it's good advertising. And it's optional anyway. The teams can opt to get the Asian import and not. It makes the game a lot more interesting.
But what about the PBA stepping out towards Asia, you know, opening itself up more to Asia?
That again is a policy decision, diba? That one has to be up to the board because the PBA really just likes to take in Filipinos, diba? You know that, no? And imports are a different matter, so they have to be able to do that. That one is up to them.
Okay. I'd like you to picture a day 5 years from now. What do you see? What does the PBA look like to you?
I don't know.
Why not?
I don't know. No, really. Because I want to take the PBA. It's like I said before, you know, it's not something that, it wasn't anymore in my career path, no. Yeah. So I'm looking at it on a year-to-year basis. Yeah, and I've established already, you know, I've established something already for myself. And that's where I want to go. I've been wanting to do these things. I've been here already involved in my own business for a long time. And I'm not going to give it up. even me giving up. That's why I've talked to my partners. They'll run it during the time that I'm absent. So should the time come when the board does not like me anymore,
Yeah.
I have something to go to.
Fallback is.
Yeah, this is it's not really my fallback. It's really this is where I really want to be. You know? The reason why I'm with the PBA is because also of the people there. Diba? And I think it's a deep love really for basketball. And that's why I've asked to be temporarily on leave from my firm, no? And so that I can concentrate fully on trying to help the PBA. It's an obligation already that I've already committed to.
What legacy would you like to leave as a commissioner?
I just want probably that I was able, you know, all the participants there were given a fair chance to win games. That's all. You know, I know the coaches, I know them. They can take losses. Even the teams, even the team owners, you know, team governors, they can take losses as long as they believe that they've been beaten fair and square.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of games, you know, the quality of the games that I really want to be able to implement there. So when you get into that, you know that you've won because you were better, yeah, and your players were more skillful than nasabit ako rito, napati, ganon, than the referees again. No? So I don't like that. I want everybody, because I know for a fact, and I want true sportsmanship to reign. Because I really think all the coaches there, no matter who you go, you team coach, you can go even to Yang Giao, diba? To Coach Norman, anybody there, they can take losses as long as they know that it's been called fairly.
Fought hard.
Yes, it's not fair. You know, they can take losses. That one I can assure you.
Okay. We have a few questions from social media. E1J Garrido asks from Twitter, is there a chance that the PBA will change its format, something like an NBA type season and not 3 conferences?
I think that one has to be studied a lot more deeper, no? Because I think you also have to understand that we also have to consider the schedules also of the school-based teams, no? So I don't know if that's possible. We also have to consider also of the availability of the venues. You also have to consider the bottom line of how it's going to affect the PBA, the revenues, no? So there's a lot of things to consider. And I'm sure these things are going to be discussed already with the board. Kasi, you know, a new development also came in with the Gilas teams, no? So that also disrupted a little bit the schedule of the PBA, you know? And kawawa rin the players, eh. So it would be good there because then you have time for recovery, you know? You're talking about 2 to 3 months of not playing. I don't know if that's going to be acceptable to the board. But it has been discussed, I think, from what I understand before. And it may be something that's worth also looking into. But I think a deeper study has to be made.
Another question is from a Barangay Ginebra fan page. The Twitter account asks, what is the PBA... Oh, sorry. No. What will you do with the supposed one-sided trade since it's too obvious?
You know, the thing is, I've not been following that, no. And to be honest, I don't know what the obvious means. You know, probably they're talking about, you know, going through a third party, and then the third party is an ally, no, an ally of the whoever would needs to trade, no. Well, like me, what I can say is this, you know, as a coach, I can see whether a team has an advantage or not. And I hope that I may be able to use that knowledge, no, in coming out with the decision in allowing a trade to be made or not. You know, so, but again, you see, the thing is, I can say I don't know, eh, diba? If the ones I think who are always asking for trades are the ones who have money. That's why they're actively trading. The ones who don't have the money may not be actively trading. So I don't know. You see, I'm just thinking off my head, no? So I do not know yet. Until I'm there, I don't think. Let me deal with it first and sit down. And I don't know if they're going to be trades right away. So allow me first to sit down in my seat to get it hot, and then let's see what happens.
Yung mga trades po ngayon these days, the rumored trades, you're not yet involved with that?
Not yet kasi di ba I'll start 1st of August.
Last question from social media as well. From @deluna_MUFC. How open are you to having foreign coaches in the PBA since you were a former BCAP president who vehemently opposes them?
There is a rule already that's been established. They cannot coach here. All right, unless there is a certain standard that they must attain, no, prior to being allowed to coach here. The whole idea, if you understand really, is first to protect the basketball coaches, the Filipino coaches. However, moving forward, no, there is also an advantage really in having foreign coaches, no, because you have certain developments that they can share with, like especially in Europe, no. But again, you know, there are certain limitations that our basketball have. It's still a number of teams are just really just very small yet, you know. And if you displace a coach, where naman, you know, he's dedicated most of his life to coaching, diba? I think it's going to be a little bit unfair. And then you don't know also how long these coaches are, unless they're given temporary assignments, diba? And we have a tendency really to look up to foreign coaches than the local coaches. So at this point in time, I will leave it first to them following the rules that we've established when I was PCAP president. No? When a team proposes to come out with a foreign coach, I think there's a possibility he can do that. All he has to do is just follow the procedures that BCAP has already established. And if he's able to meet those criteria, he may be allowed. But it's going to be difficult for them. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
We made sure of that.
All right, thank you
Sure.
so much, Commissioner. Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. Pleasure. Thank you also.
We've been speaking with Chito Narvasa, the new commissioner of the PBA. Do continue the conversation online and follow Rappler on social media. This is Jane Brasher. Thank you for joining us.